Hey, I'm Corey Mintz, and I hesitated to write a recipe for nachos because I shouldn't be telling anyone how to make nachos. There's nachos, like it's like tying your shoes. You just know how to make them, and yet I've had bad nachos. So have you. You put too much cheese. You think there's no such thing as too much cheese, but you try to take a chip out, and it just pulls like the whole basket out. Too little cheese, you're a cheapskate. It's just a sprinkling. So today we're going to focus on proper nacho form, and it starts with pickled jalapenos. Pickled jalapenos is the only essential toppings for me. And it starts with just making a quick brine out of sugar, salt, honey, whiskey, a little vinegar, water, slicing some jalapenos, pouring that over top. Let that sit for 20 minutes and it's ready. Keeps until the day you die in the fridge. So for the green salsa, I got some tomatillos. You want to peel that, whatever it's called, the exoskeleton sheath stuff off. Maybe rinse those off. Quick blanch in boiling water, transfer to ice water, and then I'm going to throw these in the food processor with cilantro, with onion, with serrano chilies, which are a bit more mild than the jalapenos. A bit of olive oil, garlic, lime, a little bit of salt. Buzz that, not totally smooth, pull it out, and then I'm just going to mash up a ripe avocado and fold those together. Longtime readers and viewers will, of course, recognize this as the same slow roasted pork from the kimchi stew recipe. And in fact, this is that same slow roasted pork from Fed column number 248. It was in my freezer. This is evidence that it defrosts beautifully. And here I'm just reheating it with some chili and sugar. I like a couple kinds of cheese. And rather than marry like different flavors, I'd rather focus on the texture. So one melty cheese and one non-melty cheese. For the melty cheese, it's got to be like Monterey Jack or cheddar. Here I'm using an aged cheddar, which is why it's crumbling apart in my hands. And queso fresco, which is a non-melty Mexican cheese, and it's going to provide nice little pockets of less salty cheese throughout the nachos. We had nachos this week after we hit the club, the comedy club, with Mike Christie, who hosts a podcast, Back of the House, in which he interviews comedians and he cooks for them. Sound familiar? And after the club, which is fantastic, by the way, Wednesday nights, the Weirdo Show, comedy bar, terrific. We came back here. He made ceviche. I made nachos. I asked, if I may, nacho explain the nacho assembly process. Here is basic nacho 101 assembly. A layer of chips. A layer of cheese. That first layer of cheese, not all the cheese bonds the chips together. That's the glue, okay? Then a little bit of the top, in this case, pork and chilies, not all the chilies, and then a little bit more cheese, and then the rest of the toppings. And now they are locked into place. Before I receive your letters and mails and phone calls, not that I don't appreciate this, obviously this is not the only way to make nachos. This is a way to make nachos. You could pour cheese whiz in a bag of Doritos and call that nachos. You could eat soup out of a hat, call that nachos. Say it in quotation marks. It's just a couple tips to increase your nacho game. Thanks for watching. I will see you next week. Until then, I'm Corey Mintz, the Toronto Star. You all right?